Als ik denk aan een superster, dan denk ik aan Robbie Williams. Je wil niet weten hoe vaak ik heb meegeschreeuwd met Angels of Let Me Entertain You. Maar nu is hij op een hele andere manier te bewonderen. Zijn kunst hangt namelijk gewoon in het Moco Museum in Amsterdam. You can sit right over here.
Thank you. I'm loving your mustache.
Yeah, thank you. Robbie, we're sitting in a room full of your artworks. How do you feel about that?
I don't really know yet. I know that I'm overwhelmed with pride and happiness, but it's also mixed with a bit of confusion. Like this is serious.
Yeah.
It's a proper thing.
Yeah.
I've just been on my iPad for years doing this, and then in my on my kitchen table drawing, and now all of a sudden it's a real thing where you're asking me questions about it, and you know, and I'm next to Herring and Warhol, and I'm equally as confused as I am blissfully happy.
How did you start by making these?
Well, in 2006 I retired from music. Didn't last too long.
No.
But I needed to have purpose, and I'd heard that if you do something that you enjoy, you never work a day in your life. And I decided to see if I could enjoy making images. When I was a kid, art to the people where I'm from was the masters.
Yeah.
You know, proper artists.
It was the greatest thing.
Oh, well, you could never do that.
No.
You could never do that.
It was like divine.
Yeah, yes, and also, you know, if I started bodybuilding, I'm never going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know.
And you also thought you were never going to be a Picasso.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So art wasn't for me, and it wasn't for us. And it wasn't until Banksy appeared that you go, actually, this is punk, this is DIY.
Do you remember the first time you thought, I'm just going to head out, buy a brush, get a canvas, and just do it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
How did it go?
Not very well. The first thing that I did was like some terrible collages, and my terrible collage was put up in the Tate in Liverpool. And you know, there was an art critic that reviewed my piece of art, and I agreed with him that it was the worst piece of art that's ever been made. Well, yeah.
But now it's different, right?
Now it's different.
The title of the exhibition is called Pride and Self-Prejudice. What does it mean, Pride and Self-Prejudice?
Pride and self-prejudice, I guess that these, you know, the self-prejudice of the overly sensitive, mentally ill self-hatred that exists in some people, including myself. Yeah. You know, it's like it's a life work to overcome imposter syndrome, and a life's work to overcome feeling like I don't deserve any of this success that has happened to me. I'm like Bruce Lee of figuring out how to defeat myself. You know, if you imagine at the height of my career in these massive stadiums, how much creativity it would take to make me believe that I'm useless and nobody likes me. But I managed it.
You actually managed to think that.
Because I'm creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walked in here and I looked at it, and I was you don't have to take a compliment from me, but I was very impressed.
Thank you.
I love it, and I also love the fact that it's all about your mental health. Yeah. It's very personal.
Yeah.
Why did you choose that to be the theme of your artworks?
I think it's very of its time. You know, I don't think this necessarily could have existed in 2002, 2006, because mental health wasn't a priority, or it wasn't a conversation on the table. But I think that there's been a destigmatization of mental health and the topic, and it's now okay to be mentally unwell.
Yeah, I see this. You've talked about it in interviews before. You like to stay in bed, even when you're well, and even when you're not so mentally stable. And I just imagine this man sitting in his bed and just being so happy with himself and his iPad. Look at you, you're like a little child smiling right now.
Yeah, you're right. That's what happens. Like, I think that if I'm not in bed everywhere else, I'm overwhelmed, even in my kitchen.
Being here as well, giving this interview, is different than sitting on your iPad in bed.
Do you know what? I genuinely feel as though I'm being celebrated, and I genuinely feel as though I deserve it today. And that's a new feeling for me.
Yeah. And you're not nervous?
I'm not nervous because, you know, I'm not trying to make money from this. I'm not trying to have critics adore it or like it or think it's, you know, worthy of a mention. I'm not. You know, I've won. I've won.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. I know you've won.
I don't need anything else other than this.
No. In all your paintings, you have also added text. Like, are they lyrics? Are they just thoughts that pop into your head?
I deserve every drop of love I've got to give. I deserve every drop of love you've got to give. That's in a song that hasn't come out.
But because they seem like in Dutch, we have, in the Netherlands, we have a thing, it's called tegelwijsheden. And to translate it like directly, it's called taal wisdoms. I have something with me. Do you have your taal wisdom for the people?
The things that have happened in my career have been unbelievable, off the scale. I didn't know I could dream bigger. I didn't know there was bigger dreams that were possible for me. Even with what I've achieved, there's even bigger stuff out there that I can do and create. And I think that where I'm from, my grandma's report card, working class, said, "We'll do well for the people over her." So we'll do well for the bosses, because there is nothing available for you other than be working under somebody. Now that's one person ago. That's in the psyche of so many people. My advice is dream bigger.
Show them.
Whatever the dream is that you have, times it by 10. And I know it's trite advice, but I don't think people dream big enough.
She boom, boom.